Alex is the name, stock market is the game. Welcome. When people hear the S&P 500, they immediately think it's for the rich people, for the bankers, for the Wall Street guys, or for people who already have a ton of money. And if that's what you think, you are probably also thinking this is not for me. Well, stick around, I will show you en contraire. Well, the truth is the S&P 500 was never designed for a specific job or income level or a specific type of person. It was designed for one thing only: people who are willing to be patient. First of all, let's talk about who the S&P 500 is not for. The S&P 500 is not for people who want to get rich fast. It's not for the people who need constant excitement, and it's definitely not for people who panic every time the market goes down. If you need adrenaline, if you want action every week, if you want to feel something every time you open an app, then this is probably not your game. Okay? The S&P 500 is very boring, and that's actually its biggest strength. Now, who is it for actually? It is for the people who have jobs. It's for people who earn money every month. It's for the people who don't want to spend their life watching charts, or for people who understand that wealth doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't matter if you are an employee, a freelancer, an entrepreneur, or a doctor, maybe a pilot, or someone with a normal 9 to 5 job. The S&P does not care what you do for a living. It only cares about one thing and one thing only, and that is the consistency. Let's be honest for a second. Most people don't fail at the investing part because they are inexperienced. They fail because they are human. They invest when everyone is excited, and they stop when everyone is scared. They buy high and then they sell low. And then they say, yeah, the investing is a scam. Oh, well, no, it's not real. The emotions are the scam. And this for me is another reason why the S&P 500 works so well. It protects you from yourself. You don't have to be smart, you don't have to be fast, you don't have to feel anything, okay? You just show up, invest, and go live the life, your life. Well, honestly, if investing required talent, most of us would be in real trouble. A small amount invested regularly over a long period of time. That's all you need. Uh, People ask all the time, what age is the best time to start investing in the S&P 500? Well, I will tell you, obviously, the earlier you start, it's going to be the better. That's just a simple math. Time is the advantage. But here's the part that really matters. You are not too late. The best time to start investing was probably 20 years ago. The second best time is today, now. Well, if you are in your 20s, time is the superpower. 30s, if you're in your 30s, income growth and discipline matter a bit more. If you are 40s or your 50s, it's still worth it. You just have to adjust your expectations. What matters is not your age. What matters is whether you start or not. And by the way, if you are watching this and thinking, yeah, but I should have started earlier, well, congratulations. You are officially part of the human race. Everyone thinks that. People who start at 20 wish they started at 18. People who started at 30 wish they started at 20. People who never started wish they started at all. Regret does not build wealth. It's only the action that does. And also, let's clear this up. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need the best timing. You don't need to wait for the next crash, the next dip, the next sign from the universe. The market doesn't care about your feelings. And that's actually very liberating. If you want feelings, get a girlfriend. Is the S&P 500 good for children? That's another question. Honestly, this is one of the most powerful used cases. When you invest for a child, you are not trying to make them rich, okay? You are giving them options. A small monthly investment over 18, 20, 25 years can completely change someone's life. Not because of intelligence, not because of talent, but because of time. That's something most people underestimate. There are people, for example, who followed Warren Buffett's advice. They didn't chase the trends, they lived modestly, and some would live what others would call poor lives. But they invested constantly, year after year, and they didn't touch the money. It's of utmost importance. And then something, it's a bit windy, and then something interesting happened. They retired rich. These people were not boring because they were sad. They were boring because they were focused. While others were upgrading their cars, these guys were upgrading their future. While others were showing success on Instagram, they were quietly buying pieces of the world's biggest companies. Yeah. Sometimes that looks stupid in the moment, but you don't look rich when you're investing. You look and you are rich later on. They have lived poor by choice and they lived rich by design. Now, this brings me to the part that usually scares people away, and that is the time. Yeah, long-term investing takes time. 20 years, 30 years. That is absolutely true. No one is lying to you about that. But here's the part people forget to think about. The time will have passed anyways. You will become 40 years old and you will become 50 years old. You will become older whether you invest or not. People love to say, yeah, but 30 years is a long time. And I always find that funny because somehow those same people have no problem binge watching series for 10 years straight, you know, scrolling social media every day or spending money on things they don't even remember buying. So the real question is this: would you rather be 40 or 50 years old with an extra 1 million euros, or would you rather be 40 or 50 years old without €1 million. Because those years are coming either way. And at the end of the day, the S&P 500 is not about numbers. It's about behaviors. Can you stay calm when others panic? Can you stay boring even when others chase the excitement? Can you think long term in a world obsessed with now? Well, if you can do that, you are already ahead of the most people. You don't need to be special, guys. You just need to be consistent. This channel is not about getting rich fast. It's not about hacks, secrets, or shortcuts. It's about building a calm, predictable future over the time. So, if that way of thinking makes sense to you, then you are in the right spot. So, hope to see you again for the next one. Stay dry.